kind of make me itch sometimes. I was raised Baptist, so I just want to let you know I appreciate that somebody that was raised somebody Baptist on the phone with me, because all these Kojaks on the phone, they can make me sweat. I feel like I got to get some glitter, and I got to get some I got to come in here with a tambourine. So thank you so much, Sister Aunjanue, for just for just repping some of the Baptists, even though we're not saved all the time. Thank you for just representing. So let me go to the creating of this script and to be able to find these moments of authenticity that you had to do as a director and as a researcher. How did you even begin the journey as the one that was curating the narrative on paper for Aunjanue and everyone to be able to follow? What was the period of time that it took you to be able to make sure that this script was authentic and it spoke exactly to the period that we were able to see on screen?
So the journey of the writing started over 15 years ago when Camille Tucker worked together with Dr. Holly Carter to create a version of the script that was taken to Lifetime. And then once it was there, another writer who hails from Chicago, Sylvia L. Jones, then created another version of the script. And that was the script that I was handed as a director to then interpret into the movie. And from that script and the moment that I met Aunjanue Ellis, and what I also discovered that, my goodness, she is a scholar of the Clark sisters. She came with so many different ideas that came from her vast research and understanding of these sisters from a point of view of love and admiration. So a lot of things were implemented into the script as well that just elevated the storytelling. So it was really a conglomerate of different storytellers and writers who put this manuscript together that then came to life through all their wonderful actors and cast and crew.
Wow, that is incredible to know that these incredible actresses, they contributed to what was on paper, and they brought their own life experiences, and that just shows the gravity of the impact socially and culturally that the Clark sisters had upon culture, that everybody that was part of the movie at some point in their lives had heard of them, had been impacted by them. And rarely is there a biopic that so many people personally have had some type of close, tangible connection that was something that they were able to quantify in their own execution of it. And that leads me to even ask I want to ask Miss Dorinda, I want to ask you, before we talk about how beautiful you are, how incredible you are, how dope you are, and then I want to talk to the actress that portrayed you. But when you saw Miss Aunjanue on screen as your mama, Miss Dorinda, I want to know how deep the layers were for you to kind of peel back to see this incredible young woman portray a lady that you knew when the cameras were not on, because your mama was a star before social media was before the advent of social media and all the things that could have made her even more well known. How did it feel to see this incredible actress transform into the lady that you knew as mama?
Well, I was really deeply moved. I was moved to the point where it brought tears, just like it is now when I just heard her talk about my mom and talking about us. But it really, it got me to the point of saying, this woman has to have met my mother.
Wow.
There is no way in the world we couldn't even find anybody in the United States that could have played her the way she did. And Aunjanue didn't know anything about my mom. And I'm sure, just watching just videos and how she just stepped into character, because me and my sisters were saying the same thing. We was like, wait a minute, this woman is acting just like Mama. And
Wow.
everybody that saw the movie, that knew my mom, that was under her leadership, that was in the choir, that was around her most of the time, they kept saying, whoever that lady was, she got your mama down pat. It was incredible. And you know what? The first time we saw her, when we walked into the room, we were getting dressed to do the last scene. And when she walked in, she had the ball in the back. She had just a little simple skirt on. And when she walked in, we all looked and we said, oh my God, she looked like Mama. And the thing is when she came over, it got so real until we all started crying when we saw her. Wow. That's how intense this thing was and how real Aunjanue and stepping into character. I mean, it was just amazing. And really, when everybody saw the movie is when we really actually saw the whole thing. Because, you know, we had to kind of screen and see what was happening. But when we saw it, like everybody else, we were in tears again. So that's how an impression that this woman has given to the world. And I just want her to know that she has really played my mom to the T.
Yes.
I just wish she could have met my mama.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. It was the scariest thing in the world because it was past acting. It was the most out of body experience that you could ever experience with a trained actress. And we've got other actresses on the phone that I'm going to get to or on this call. But my last question for Miss Aunjanue is because it was so iconic. It was so, for me, revolutionary for the first time to be able to see you on the screen. Just tell me a little bit about your past, Miss Aunjanue. What were some other roles that you played before this? Because let me tell you something. If no one had ever heard about you before this movie, I guarantee you that you are, along with all these other actresses, because the fact that all these other actresses can sing and they embody these characters. But my last question for you, Miss Aunjanue, is that what was your history as far as an actress before you were able, and I want to know who called you? Like who did you get the call from? Did you have to audition? Was it somebody's cousin that said, you know, you act like my auntie, you know, when you walking down the street? Did you go to church and Jesus text you? I mean, how did you find out about this movie?
Well, I found out about, you know, it was pretty, it's not really a great story, you know. I mean, I think like the getting of the job is not, I don't have any like protracted, you know, story about it. I got a letter in the mail, in my email, saying that you are actually the letter said they wanted me to play Jackie. They wanted me to play Miss Jackie. And so I just knew, yeah, Angela, I was supposed to have your role. Don't play. Wow. But no, because then I thought it was a joke, or that they had sent me the wrong information. So I was literally probably up all night, restless, because I couldn't wait for Los Angeles to open so I could say to my agent, like, yo, you sent me this letter saying that I've been offered the role to play Miss Jackie Clark Chisholm. And I'm like, you can't play with my emotions like that. Like, I worship these women. What are you doing? And she said, no, it's not a joke. It's not a mistake, but you're not playing Miss Jackie. You're playing, you would be playing their mother. And from that moment on, I just, you know, I hit the ground running, you know, and I was in New York. I was doing When They See Us. That's the job that I did before this.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is right. Salute to you. Brilliant work. Brilliant work. Yes. There you go. You look so much like Mattie. There you go. But please continue.
Yeah, and yeah, and I believe, even though like